Welcome back to the channel, guys. I know it's been a minute since I posted the last video, and I apologize for that, but just like everybody else, things happen in life, and we've been doing a lot of things in the background, but we're just here to give you like a little shop/life update. But first, we got to get the GT-R off the lift because we are getting the windows tinted today, so that's our first project, and then we'll talk about some of the other things that are going on in the shop. I almost forgot to mention, I did try to start the Super yesterday and the battery's dead, so I guess the curse of the boosted boys and dead batteries is still alive in the shop. No, not really. I do know I have a small drain on my battery because I do have something wired in my car that draws constant power, so I need to rewire that so it's switched. So I usually keep it on a trickle charger and it doesn't die, but I forgot over the last week to plug it in. So hopefully we got her on the charger overnight and hopefully she starts. But if not, we're just gonna push it outside and get it out of the way. That ain't gonna work. Unfortunately, the battery's dead, so, and they might be cooked, so they are some older batteries, but that is such as life. Well guys, the battery's cooked. I have these AGM batteries, they're like motorcycle batteries in the car. I actually have two of them to make it more like a full-size battery, just for the simple sake of keeping it tidy and neat where the placement is in the car. But over time, if you let them die and you get them too low, they just basically go kaput, and they are a few years old anyway, and that's generally about all they last from my experience. So I guess time to get some new batteries for this thing. Project number 734 that needs to be taken care of. And let's just get this thing out of the shop. Well, batteries aren't dead, but if you notice, the starter's definitely not got enough juice. At least she rolls easy. All right, so we got the GT-R in place, and our man Sterling is already quick on the job. Basically, we're gonna do a 20% tint all the way around, so side windows, quarters, and the rear. And then we are going to clear ceramic tint the front, just basically to keep all the heat out. Like in Florida, anybody who knows, who lives down here or any in the hot environments, ceramic tint is what really keeps the heat out of the inside of your vehicle. And honestly, it protects it from a lot of other things. Protects your dash and all that good stuff. But I'm not trying to sell you on ceramic tint, but that's what we're doing, and honestly, I have it on all of my vehicles. Sterling's hard at work, killing it as always. We'll set up the time lapse and let you watch him work. So as you guys know, we've also been doing a bunch of kart racing this summer. So we've been racing at 2 different tracks, Bushnell Motorsports Park and T4 Kart Complex. We've been racing there all summer long, and we just had a couple of good outings. I think you guys seen in our last, one of my last videos of us finishing 3rd at T4 Kart Complex. We did get another 3rd place finish the last time we were out there. And then our outing just recently, we were at Bushnell, and well, it didn't turn out so good. We finished dead last because we had a small mishap, but luckily the kart was still drivable. We still hustled through, finished the race, and gathered some points for hopefully, contention in the championship. We're not really up there in the championship point standings, but you never know how the season goes, so we're just going to keep trying to do our best and see how it goes. So the old Coyote kart is doing an awesome job so far for us this year. Looking forward to see what the rest of the race season has to offer. Man, does this look great. So no more fishbowl effect. She is looking sweet. We got, Sterling did an awesome job as always. I have him do, like I said, all my cars. But we got a 20% all around, back, sides, quarters, and then we just did a clear ceramic on the front just to, like I said, keep the heat out. But man, it's looks so much better. Gotta still wipe down the car. She's a little dirty, but she is looking fire. Oh man, so stoked about that. Glad, first modification, I guess, done and out of the way. All right, guys, I might have got a little carried away, but not really. So I kind of said in the beginning I wasn't really going to modify the GT-R at all unless it was like, very tasteful mods. I don't really consider this modifying it, other than just kind of updating and or fixing it for the location that it's currently in. So as you've seen, we got the window tint, which is a ceramic window tint, installed, and in order to facilitate the actual windshield install, I pulled off some of the trim just to get a cleaner install. And while I was there, I was like, you know what, honestly, it's something I probably should do, and that was replace the old JDM radio / navigation unit, which you can't read, can't understand it, and then it also has well, let's just see all the crap I pulled out of it in the short term already. But this is like the factory Japanese toll system, kind of like a Sun Pass thing if you were in Florida. But this is the GPS for the navigation. That's just like all the antenna wiring and stuff like that for the radio. But I was like, you know what, let's just tear all that out and update it with something modern and something that I can actually use in America here. And honestly, it was a fairly easy uninstall so far. It was fairly easy, and honestly, the harder part is gonna figure out which doubled-in system I wanna put back in it. So yeah, let's see what we get ordered. As you guys know, sometimes you start ripping things apart and you get a little carried away. But while we're here, the one other thing that kind of bugging me is the MFD display screen. So that's the multifunction display on the R34 GTRs. It's been bugging me because it's a little jacked up. As you can see here on the display itself, there's a bunch of weird haloing. I'm sure you can probably see that pretty easily, which is why it bugs me too. And if you power it on, that weird haloing also matches this goofy coloring it's got. I don't know if somebody pushed on this screen at one point and screwed up the screen that way. It still does work, and if you go through the menus and all that stuff, it still does display everything properly, but visually, it looks terrible. So we're gonna dig into that. Before we go ahead and order everything, we're gonna pull that apart to verify the actual display model, because there are some variances between the series, and I just wanna verify that we ordered the right one and don't waste our time, because I'm pretty sure we gotta order this from overseas somewhere. More than likely, it's gonna come from Japan if I can't source one locally, which I doubt I will. So we're just gonna tear this apart real quick, verify what we got, and then we'll start ordering some parts. All right, Enzo, take 365. Your dad's gonna try this again. All right, guys, so we got the multifunction display out of the car. I'm just gonna give you a quick rundown because I actually have it already disassembled. It's mocked up together just to give you a wave top of how it all comes apart. But there is the main cover that is in the car that you pull out. There's 2 screws just below the display that you pull out. The cover will come off. And then there are access to 4 screws that hold the entire module in. And you can bring that over to your workspace, set it on something soft and gentle so you don't scratch or damage anything. To get this apart, there's 2 screws on this side, 2 screws on this side, and some plastic tabs. And just be careful when you're separating the 2 halves, because there are some cables in the inside that you have to disconnect. There is a ribbon cable here. As you can see, I already disconnected it. And then there is this, which I got jammed in there. There's a black port there that disconnects from. That will separate the 2 major halves from, I guess, the chassis and the main display panel itself. I'm gonna flip this over. There is a couple screws here and then a couple screws in here. Basically anywhere you see it attached to plastic, you wanna take those screws out. You'll take the trim out of the way, set that aside, and then what you'll have left is this backer. and the display screen. So if you flip that over, there are 4 screws located here. You take those screws out and that will separate this backing plate from the actual main display. And there's 4 more screws you have to take apart to take the circuit board off and separate it from the main display. But be careful with this one also, because there is another ribbon cable here that needs to be separated and a power cable here, and that will be the 2 halves. What we need to replace is this actually right here. So you're going to keep all these other components and we're just replacing this. And what I really needed to know from all of this is this was made by Sharp, which the screen itself was also made by Sharp, because if you flip it over, you can see made in Japan and there's the beginning of an S, but it's made by Sharp and it is the single ribbon, which is off of the Series 1 MFD displays. Now that we know what we're working with, we're gonna go ahead and get some parts ordered and we'll get back to you. All right guys, so one other thing I wanted to talk about is something that's been eating up a lot of my time and why I haven't really been posting a lot of videos is, now that I'm part of this GT-R community, I kind of want to do something for it. I always like to be part of the community and not just a bystander, try to contribute as much as I can. And as I was trying to look up information about the car, because I think it's unique, I used to live in Japan for a couple years, like 10 years ago, but that's for a whole nother story. But I've always had interest in Japanese cars, and I really just love the history of them, especially when one's been imported and they've never been available in the United States until recently. I basically started digging into things, and there's something that used to exist called the GT-R Registry. In short, I'm essentially rebuilding it. It's quite a process. There's a lot of information to go through and gather and whatnot, but I just kind of wanted to walk you through what I've built so far. So the GT-R Registry, the new one built by me, is currently live. It's not fully updated yet, but this is what we got so far. This is your landing page. I got a car featured on here. I'll probably do little features here and there of unique cars. Currently just have mine on there, it's just a stock photo, but you can click on Browse Registry. Some of this will change maybe by the time you see this video, but we have a color breakdown for the R34s. Currently the R34s are the only ones on the registry as of now, but I'm working on the 33s and the 32s will come shortly thereafter. But you have every single chassis in there, their colors, models, whether V-specs, etc. As I continue to build the registry, we will add more things. For right now, I'm just trying to get the base information so people can look them up and whatnot. It does have a search function as well, which is great. So if you type in a partial of a chassis code, you'll see here as I just typed in 777, and it gives you every search result with 777 in the chassis number. Or you can search by color, search by V-spec, NER spec, M spec, etc. Again, as we add more information, we'll change the filter categories and things like that. If you click on details in the car, it'll give you a little bit of extra information about the car, which for most of the GT-Rs, right now it's just the GT-Rs, so all the information is essentially the same. Right now there's only the GT-Rs in the registry, but as we continue to grow and we're gonna add the other chassis codes, there will be other features and things that you can search for by engine type, etc. if you wanna filter out certain things, or specific types of engines, transmissions, etc. Like as we build and grow, that information will be sorted to it. So it's just kind of a real baseline. I just wanted to get it out there and available so that you guys know, if you're interested, that this is live and active, and we're just gonna continue to update it, and we're not gonna just wait forever and ever and ever to post something. I'm gonna basically continue to live update this, and I also have a Facebook page as well, so that's directly linked to this. So it's the GT-R Registry Facebook page. There's another one, but it hasn't been updated in quite some time. I think that kind of died with the actual forum / registry site as well. I just created an associated Facebook group, so that way you guys all can, if you have any questions about the new registry site, you can drop them in there. That's what I've been working on a lot, and I'm gonna start knocking out some other updates for the 33s and 32s as well. And then once I have those up and a bulk of information, I'll start working on the other sub models of the 32s, 33s, and 34s, and we'll see where it goes from there. But I appreciate everyone's support that I've gotten so far about the registry, so big shout out to you guys for helping. There's definitely a few of you who've donated. Huge thanks to you guys, because without that, it does cost time and money, so I appreciate the support on the back end there. And if anybody else wants to contribute with either time, money, resources, whatever, just, shoot me a message and I'll see what I can do to get you on board to help with this big project. So I appreciate it. It's been a few days. We ordered a couple of things. Our MFD display screen is here. We also ordered a rear view mirror, which is not here yet, but that's no big deal because the glass is kind of delaminated a little bit and it bugs me because I'm anal, kind of a perfectionist. So we ordered a new one. It's still on its way. And then we also ordered some other goodies for the Super there. We'll get to that in another video, but because I didn't know how long the display screen was going to take to get here, I actually reinstalled everything in the car. That way if I drove it around or whatever. But anyway, so we're going to get that ripped out real quick. I'm just going to time lapse that and then we'll get back to the install. As you've seen, that was pretty simple to take back apart. As you can see, we got the old MFD display screen and the new one as just looking comparison side by side. And they are also both made by Sharp in Japan. So we should have zero compatibility issues. If you flip the old one over, you can see all the cracking and discoloration in the old one. And as you can see on the new one, we still have, I won't rip this off yet until we get it installed, but it's gonna be super satisfying to peel that. But nice brand new screen, it'll look great. So let's go ahead and get this thing reinstalled. Got her installed. I guess this is the moment of truth. Now we gotta make sure I installed it correctly and the screen actually works, so fingers crossed. Oh, look how much better that looks. Whew. And everything's working. Menus. Nice. Outstanding. Dude, that looks so much better. It's just one of those things, that's probably the first step of many that I'm going to take into kind of restoring this car to its utmost glory. So stay tuned for more mods. But I think that's going to do it for this video. I think I said that before, but I probably cut that out. So as always, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next one.